When SABMiller launched its Hansa Vuyo ads, little did it realize that one man would turn the fiction into a reality. This is Tonight. I'm Bruce Whitfield. Tonight I'm talking to Miles Kubheka, who decided to turn the Vuyo's brand into his own version of success. Just in case you've been on another planet or in a different country and you don't remember the Hansa ads, have a look at this.
Okay, give it to me. What is the next big thing? Yeah?
Okay, wait.
Yeah, man.
It's a chicken.
No, it's a button he's playing with his food.
You know, Vuyo sees things that other people can't.
Streaming again.
Vuyo's heart is as big as his dreams.
So it was all about style, it was about ambition, it was about the future. So young Miles Kubheka watches the ads and an idea forms in his brain. When were those ads? 10 years ago?
No, it's just a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago.
No ways. That
Yeah.
it feels like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's quite
That's what
recent.
happens when you get old. Where were you sitting watching these ads and going, I like that story?
It actually happened over a period of time. I kept on seeing them and subliminally kept on saying, like, I wonder if there's a real Vuyo, if this thing was based on a true story. And I just Googled only to find out it was a fictitious character that didn't exist, and I promptly trademarked it.
Okay, so you trademarked Vuyo.
Yeah.
Did you go to SABMiller and say, I'm planning to do this, or did you trademark it and go to SABMiller and say, guys, better to ask for permission than beg for forgiveness, or what is it?
Yes, I'm a strong believer that it's sometimes better to ask for forgiveness than for permission. So I literally trademarked it without knowing what SAB was going to say. In fact, the only time I discovered what their opinion was when we made it to the front page of the Sunday Times and the reporter had gone to SAB to get their opinion.
Because SAB had a big sense of humour failure around the cartoons, the
Yes,
black label,
yes,
white guilt, and all of
yes,
those T-shirts that were developed in Cape Town.
Yeah.
Big sense of humour failure, but they've accepted you. They've said, well, look, you know what? You're a clever guy who's taken advantage, a commercial advantage of an opportunity that they create.
And also their brand, Hansa, was building entrepreneurship. So it was just in the right spirit that I saw this opportunity and I took it and ran with it, basically.
So how old is Vuyo's then?
Voyeurs is now, in December, we turned 2.
Okay.
Yes.
Happy birthday,
Thank
Vuyo.
you. Yeah.
You're across the road from Wits University. You've got
Yes.
a great big red livery outside. You look
Yes.
like an EFF headquarters. You dress like Julius Malema without a Breitling. It's very strong positioning in
Yes.
that Braamfontein, downtown Joburg
Yes.
space. How busy is it? I've been past a couple of times. It
Yeah.
always looks like it's buzzing.
Yeah, actually, Braamfontein turned out to be harder than we thought. It was pretty much a baptism of fire. And it's sad because I went to the university across the road.
What did you study?
I studied a BCom degree.
Okay.
That's where I did my undergrad. But the funny thing is, students would rather drink their money than eat it.
Yeah.
So in fact, we're currently in the process of transitioning out. We've got, we're moving that location to a new location. So it's been, location is real.
Okay, so where are you moving Voyeurs to then? Because it's a prime spot that you've got.
Yes.
It's highly visible, highly public, but where are you going to take it?
We're moving further north. So on the bricks and mortar side, we've got a multiple prong strategy. So we've got food trucks that's where actually my major passion is, because we're quickly accessible, and we're empowering other entrepreneurs to run their own business with a lower overhead. So that is actually our biggest focus in 2015. And the bricks and mortar, we're looking at Rosebank, Sandton. We're moving further north.
So will you do multiple outlets?
Yeah. And the reason why those specific areas I've mentioned is that we found in downtown the larger challenge is the fact that there's no evening trade.
Yeah.
So no one goes to Braamfontein as a destination, whereas when you're in Rosebank or Sandton, people live around the area, so you get day trade, lunchtime, and dinner traffic. So, yeah.
At the moment, one physical outlet in Braamfontein, which you are then going to multiply and
Yes.
move into other sites.
Yeah.
Is this a franchise opportunity?
Yeah,
or
we've
are you gonna
already
own it?
partnered with a big retailer, and we've opened a store in Bloemfontein already.
So you partnered with a big retailer. So ShopRite has got Hungry Lion, so it's not them. Who have you partnered with?
I'm not at liberty to say because it's obviously...
Liberty's an insurance company. Who have you partnered with?
Can't go there, Bruce.
But so with a food retailer or...
It's a food retailer.
Okay,
yeah.
so you've got into bed with a food retailer.
Yeah.
You're partnering with
Well,
them.
it's in a pilot process, so we're trying it out, and we chose Bloemfontein because it's strategic in terms of its location.
Captain Dorego started there.
Yeah,
There's
there's
the
a nice
epicenter.
market there. So, and also you can learn a lot from being outside Joburg, so that by the time you replicating in Joburg or the big cities, you fine-tuned it. And
So you're creating a franchise model. You're not
Yes.
going to own. You're not going to own it then.
No, my business model is very simple. If you're going to do an amazing brand, you got to own a fair chunk of the retail stores, because that's where you learn and that's where you tweak the product and the service delivery thereof. So I think it's important for us to have a grip on what our business is, so that when we sell it on to the franchisees, it's congruent to what our brand ethos is.
Is the plan here to, in 6 months' time, phone up Kevin Hedderwick, or he tends to phone up people and go, I like what you're doing, I'll have a piece, please. Have you spoken to famous brands? They would leap at an opportunity like this.
I think it's still a bit of early days. We're fine-tuning the business model. As I've said, I mean, even the Braamfontein store was a baptism of fire of sorts. But you know what? I wouldn't change it for the world. I call it our Geda fees.
Geda fees?
Yeah, it's basically our school fees.
It's Yiddish.
Yes.
It's Yiddish for school fees.
Yes,
okay.
100%.
You've been in Braamfontein too long. When we look at the model of Vuyo's, though, so
Yeah.
the store, you're going to a store franchise model.
Yes.
The food trucks, going
Yes.
to events, going to festivals, going
Yeah.
to political party rallies, no
Yes.
doubt.
Yes.
Wherever anybody needs a Boerie roll, you will be.
And that's exactly what we discovered. And again, it was one of those things. Because Braamfontein also, that's the other thing I forgot to mention, it's very seasonal. 5 months of the year, there's no students. So it's like, it's tough. You're always on the back foot in a sense. So one of those days, I was like, how do we augment our revenue? And I remember the advert, ironically, with, carts and stuff. And by then, obviously, the world has moved on to food truck. So literally, in augmenting my revenue, I stumbled upon an amazing business model. The food trucks literally make money.
How many have you got?
We've just got funding. So we're building this year. By the end of the year, we should have about 10. So we're quite chuffed about that.
Where's the funding coming from? Is it the old-fashioned going to the bank and begging, or have you got outside backers?
Outside, you know what the funny thing, Bruce? My mother always said, if you stuck on the side of a road, no one ever stops to help you push. But if you're stuck on the side of a road and you get out and you start pushing your own car, people start seeing like there's something there, and they come. And we've been privileged in that sense. People just got it, and they got what we're trying to do. Because a food truck is almost like a lemonade stand. You can teach anybody to do it. And the barrier to entry is so minimal that, job creation is not just like a buzzword. It's something that you can actually create. And one person creates creates a job opportunity for 3 other people. And if the sales are bad in that particular vicinity,
Move!
Absolutely. Listen, I learned with great pain.
Did Braamfontein nearly break you?
Yes.
How hard was it?
It was tough. I will not lie. It was very, very tough. And that's
Because here you've got this great concept, and you've got the hype, and you've got the branding was all done for you in the Hansa ads. All the hard work was done.
Yeah.
Except nobody came.
Yeah, because again, and it's you hear it every day, location. And when I researched that location, I was still doing my other job. So when I'd come to Braamfontein, I'd come at lunchtime like everybody else. So obviously my
It's busy, this place is great.
What I didn't count on was like, well, there's nighttime and there's other day trades.
But you're learning some really tough lessons.
Yes.
You're surviving those tough lessons. The funding is coming, which is great. By the end of this year, you've got 10 food trucks.
Yes.
And how many physical outlets?
So we, again, because of the lesson from the Braamfontein store, someone said to me, if you're going to fail fast. So Braamfontein was breaking even. We could have continued. I just decided not to extend my lease.
It sucks your energy.
Yeah, it's rather let's go because we knew the product was good. The brand is obviously amazing. I mean, I've got about 7 of these caps in my car because wherever I go, people grab them. So it's like, it's been, so with that being said, it gave us an amazing platform. So, we learned a lot, and I'm proud of those stripes, but now it's the next phase, it's the replication and the rollout. So we're hoping to at least start off with a fair amount of bricks and mortar stores. We're looking at 1 to 2, excluding the franchise. I'm now talking company owned. Yeah.
And when you look at a 5-year plan then for Vuyo's, what does it look like?
I think the food truck part, I'm really passionate because I've seen what it does on the road. So I'm seeing a big focus on that.
It's a moving billboard as well.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling, Bruce. It really, really is. We did the Discovery Walk the Talk. I mean, and people are spending money on food trucks. Our food truck is, let's just say, it's a modest-priced food truck. We run queues as if it was voting day.
But what do you need? I mean, you need a sheltered environment. You need some refrigeration, or at least a cooling space.
Yes, and
to
that's
keep
pretty
stuff
much
fresh,
it.
And some gas burners. Boom,
that's it.
You're done.
And before we thought, oh, we'll go sell outside. We're getting so many calls from corporates saying, oh, I've got a bride day. And the nice thing about that is that they pay in advance. So when we send out our guys, the job is already done pretty much.
What's the biggest lesson that you learned going into business for yourself with massive Vuyo-like ambitions, stratospheric ambitions? What have you learned in the last 2 years?
I think one of the key things is that no one said it would be easy, but no one certainly said it would be this hard. And what I found about entrepreneurship is that there's almost zero support base. It's like, and because you don't know how hard it was, because no one said it would be this hard, you feel sometimes you wonder if you're doing it the right way. In other words, if someone said to me, "Yo, but it's hard going," then your expectation level is, when the hard times come, you're more like, oh, you roll with the punches, you know. So
they're incubators. Every man and his dog with a corporate with CSI budget starts up a business incubator. Yes. These guys have been absolutely no help to you at all?
Look, I can only speak for myself. The truth is, I suppose it's like a marriage. You know, the priest or the rabbi may give you consultation before, but truthfully, when it's the two of you, it's the two of you. You know, so I think everybody's just got to ultimately walk the path. You know, and
the best lessons are the mistakes that you make yourself, so that you don't ever repeat them.
And I can promise you,
what's the biggest one you've made? Other than opening up a shop in Bromfontein because lunchtime trade is good.
I think one of the biggest mistakes is the ability to say no. Because, you know, my former business partner used to say, you know, Miles, it's not that we're dumb. It's just that we've got a litany of opportunities. The hardest thing for an entrepreneur is to say no. And I actually heard something interesting this morning. Someone said successful people, they don't have a to-do list, they have a not to-do list. In other words, the ability to say, oh, that's an amazing opportunity, but not now. Yeah. It's hard. It's hugely, hugely hard. And so for me, focus is a 2015 and beyond business strategy.
The magnificent Miles Kubheka, thanks very much for coming in. Thanks. Miles Kubheka is the owner of Vuyo's, the idea that it was inspired by a TV ad. He nearly went bust, but he's bounced back and is smiling all his way through 2015 with food trucks, 10 by the end of this year, franchise opportunities as well. Kevin Hedderwick, you've been warned. He's coming. Watch out, steers. Thank you for watching. There'll be more tonight, tomorrow. Till then, good night and goodbye.